Attachment is just a need to belong. I've talked about that. The child needs to belong to caregivers who will look after them. That's clearly mammals are creatures of attachment. That dog is a creature of attachment. That dog wants to belong.
That dog is definitely a creature of attachment.
So,
I lived with
and
it.
and and even birds, little birds, they don't survive without somebody looking after them. So attachment is just a drive that's instinctively and genetically programmed into us. We have to connect. We have to belong. And so attachment is a drive that pulls two bodies together for the sake of taking care of, or for the sake of being taken care of. Not negotiable. But we have another need, which is what I call authenticity. And auto, the self, auto means self, automobile. We have this need to be ourselves. Now, on the most basic level, why do we even need to be ourselves? What I mean by that is we have to be connected to our bodies and our emotions and to be able to heed their guidance. Why? Well, we evolved out there in nature. Just how long do you survive out there in nature? How long does any creature survive in nature if they're not connected to their gut feelings? Not very long. So we have this need for authenticity, being connected to ourselves, being able to heed our inner GPS, as it were. And we have this need to attach, authenticity and attachment. By the way, let's just do a little test that I do with audiences. So just if you've had the following experience that at some point you had a strong gut feeling about something and you ignored it and you felt sorry afterwards, just raise your hand, okay? Everybody, right? You know the story you just told? You told the story of your childhood. Have you ever met a one-day-old baby that ignores their gut feelings? Never. Something happened. And what happened is this. You have your gut feelings, you have your authentic emotions, but at some point, you got the message, if you want to belong, you better give that up. It's that simple. Now, how does that work? Well, to mention another famous Canadian, much more famous than I am, Jordan Peterson, okay? So Jordan Peterson writes a book called 12 Rules for Life, in which sells millions of copies around the world. And he advises that an angry child should be made to go sit by themselves until, quote, they come back to normal. Okay? So you got this angry 2-year-old. Why is the 2-year-old angry? Because you frustrated him. And if you're a good parent, you're going to frustrate your 2-year-old. And I don't mean deliberately. I just mean when they want a cookie before dinner, you're not going to give them a cookie. You're going to say, no cookie before dinner. Well, if he's a healthy 2-year-old, they're going to throw a tantrum because they're frustrated. No, I want a cookie. But then you read Jordan Peterson's book. And he says an angry child should be made to sit by themselves so they come back to normal. It's not normal for a kid to be angry. So the kid gets the message. If I'm going to experience my genuine self, I'm going to lose my attachment. Now guess what the kid's going to give up? The attachment or the authenticity? But only 100% of the time. It's the authenticity. Because without the attachment, they can't live. But then, authenticity becomes the threat. So the kid becomes afraid of their true selves. Because if I'm being myself, they won't like me. They'll reject me. They'll even hurt me. I can give you a worse example. A kid who's being abused. The natural reaction is to want to run away or to fight back. Can they afford to? What would happen if they did? So they have to push it down. They literally have to separate from themselves in order to survive. So this is where and then of course, the culture rewards you. Oh, you're such a good kid. You're always compliant. You're always so nice. You're always so pleasant. Come here, let me pat you on the head. What a pretty little girl, always pretty, you know. In other words, we praise kids for pleasing us. So the reward is the attachment. And we don't care about the child's inner experience. So then we give ourselves up just in order to be accepted. So it's that simple. And by the show of hands, you can see how widespread it is. It's just endemic.